Post-Hypnotic Press presents an unabridged recording of The Time of Your Life, Choosing a Vibrant, Joyful Future by Margaret Trudeau, narrated by Colleen Winton. This book is dedicated to my extraordinary huge family, all of you. With our shared love, all is possible. Introduction. Make this remaining time count. The rest of your life is here. Now is the time to prepare. I have been many things in my life: wife, mother, advocate for brain health, friend, flower child, outcast. But one thing I have never been is a long-range planner. There are many reasons for this, not least of which is the fact that I live with bipolar disorder, a mood disorder that, among other things, affects one's ability to fully understand consequences. When you don't think about consequences, why would you plan for the future? As a result, in many ways, I've lived my life as a perpetual teenager, fully and completely in the moment. At its best, my passion for the present has given me a joie de vivre and an ability to savor the various phases of my life. But I have sometimes been incredibly, exuberantly happy, and other times despairingly sad. For better or worse, I've lived those experiences moment by moment. But at its worst, my attachment to the present has blinded me to forces looming on the horizon, aging, for example. Until recently, I never thought about getting older and how it might affect my life. Get old? That's what other people did. In my mind, you see, I was still a worldly 19-year-old, albeit with a lovely condo and adorable grandchildren. Then one day I woke up and I was 65, and in the space of a few short months, 3 events occurred that would dramatically alter how I saw myself and the precious time I have left. The first event seemed innocuous enough at first. It was winter 2012, and I was skiing with my eldest grandson on a bunny hill at Morin Heights outside Montreal. My sons, Justin and Sasha, have a chalet in the Laurentians, and I was spending the weekend there with Sasha and his family. I was supremely happy that day. I was doing one of the things I love most in the world, skiing, with one of the people I love most in the world, my dear little Pierre. We had a few runs under our belts and were just getting off the chairlift for another when I tipped and crashed into the ice, shoulder first. It wasn't a dramatic skiing accident. I've experienced far worse. But it was enough to dislocate my shoulder again. I had suffered a similar injury a few years earlier. For some months after my fall at Morin Heights, I was barely able to lift my arm. To this day, the joint aches any time I get cold or lift something heavy. But the worst part of all is that the injury was enough to bar me from skiing. One small miscalculation and the enduring hobby of my life, an activity that has given me countless years of pleasure, was seemingly lost to me. Fortunately, after 2 years of healing, I will ski again. The second event, a few months later, was even more devastating. My mother passed away. Her health had been failing for many years, and my sisters and I had been bracing for her death for some months. But all the preparation in the world can't prevent the aching grief of losing someone who means so much to you. I missed my mother terribly and experienced her death as a great unmooring, as though the strings that attached my 65-year-old body to my childhood self were finally cut. As long as she was around, I was still somebody's child. Now, with both my parents gone, I was not only an orphan, I was suddenly an elder. For a long time after my mother's death, I found myself reflecting on her final years and how much the aging process had changed her. Mum was always a bold, strong-willed, independent woman. Years before the women's liberation movement, she had insisted my father pay her for her work as a stay-at-home mother. She diligently invested her savings in energy stocks, so that at the time of her passing she had a sizable estate. She was comfortable and well cared for to the end. But financial stability couldn't give her what she lost in her last years, when her health failed and her friends disappeared one by one: a zest for life. She told me once, a few years before she died, that she wished her life would just end. "You can't mean that, Mom," I chided her, but in my heart I knew she did mean it. For my mother, and for many other women of her generation, aging was an act of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?